Hello everyone, welcome to the lab of heat and mass transfer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, New Campus, University of Engineering and Technology, Lahore. My name is Muhammad Adil Munir, and today we will learn that how to perform the our lab session on shell and tube heat exchanger. So now it's lab session number 13 in our lab manual. So I am just moving towards lab session 13, right? The main statement of the lab session is to calculate logarithmic mean temperature difference, that is abbreviated as LMTD. So we have to calculate this LMTD, global heat transfer coefficient, and effectiveness of shell and tube heat exchanger. So these are the three main parameters we will calculate here, and we will use here two objectives. One is to balance the energy in the shell and tube heat exchanger, and second objective is to calculate the heat exchanger effectiveness by NTU method. NTU is the abbreviation for number of transfer units. So now we will use here operators of Edibon, and it is shell and tube heat exchanger. Its serial number is TICT 67/11. So first of all, before explaining about the heat exchanger, I will like to tell you that on this heat exchanger, we have different kind of sensors. These sensors basically, what is heat exchanger? Which exchanges the heat from hot water to cold water. So in this heat exchanger, when there will be the flow of hot and cold water, the heat will transfer from hot side to cold side. So these are all the temperature sensors which will measure the temperature of hot or cold water at different stages. These are all denoted from ST1, ST2 to up to so on ST7. So like this ST1, it is used to measure the temperature of hot water at inlet. And similarly, this ST2, it is used to measure the temperature of hot water at exit or outlet. And similarly, this ST3, it will be used to measure the cold water temperature at inlet or outlet. And these are all different temperatures which will measure the temperature these are all different sensors which will measure the temperature of cold water at different stages. And ST7, it will measure the temperature of cold water at exit or inlet, because basically we can change the direction of cold water. If we at one time, if the water is entering from ST3 and exiting from ST7, we can change its direction as well. So ST7 will become inlet and ST3 will become outlet for cold water. So we cannot change the direction of hot water. Actually, we will just change the direction of cold water, so that we will perform the experiment in two way. When the cold water will enter from ST3 and will exit from ST7, it will be counted as a parallel flow. And when we will reverse its direction from ST7 to ST3, it will be counted as a counter flow, parallel flow direction. So now these are some sensors, SC1, SC2. These all just measure the flow rate of hot and cold flow. And further, there are some valves which are used to regulate the flow. So now I am moving towards the main part. These are all some data. Exchanger length is given at 0.5 meter. Some diameter of tubes. These are given areas. We will use them in the when we will calculate the different parameters. And now the most important thing is that for hot water average temperature, we will use the average of its inlet and outlet temperature, and we will get the average value of hot water. Similarly, for cold water temperature, we will just take the average of inlet and outlet temperatures, and we will get the cold water average temperature. So why we are calculating these average temperatures? Because we need these parameters in the table. We need density, we need the specific heat, we will use it later in our calculation, and we need dynamic viscosity. So these are all the parameters which are basically computed against the values of temperature. So when we will get the average value of this temperature here, we just will get the value of this density and specific heat and dynamic viscosity from the table. This table is in appendix A, and we can also use the internet sources to get this temperature and get these values of density, specific heat and dynamic viscosity. Similarly, for cold water, at this average temperature, we will compute the values of this density, specific heat and dynamic viscosity. So we will use all of these values in our calculation. So now we need to calculate the mass flow rate. The formula for mass flow rate, we will multiply the density with the volume flow rate. So this density is basically computed with respect to temperature. For example, for hot water, we have got the average temperature here, and we have computed its value of density here. This is density. We will multiply this with the SSE. This is basically the volume flow rate we will measure from the experiment, and it will be in liter per second. So we will divide this all equation with this 60,000 value to convert it in the value of mass flow rate into kilogram per second. So in this way, we will measure the mass flow rate of hot water in kilogram per second and also for cold water in kilogram per second. So now we have got the mass flow rate of hot and cold water. We will use the values of mass flow rate during our calculation. So these are just some schemes for parallel flow and for counter parallel flow. They have mentioned that when there will be a parallel flow out of 4 valves, you will keep open the valve 2 and valve 5, and you will close the valve 3 and 4. And similarly for counter flow, the explanation is given here. This is also pasted on the heat exchanger as well. So you will use this. You will use this technique to convert the parallel flow to anti-parallel flow. So now I am moving towards my observation table, and then we will move towards the lab, and we will learn how to perform these experiments and how basically shell and heat tube exchanger heat exchanger basically looks like. And these are the different values we will measure from the experiment. These are the values of basically different temperature. ST1 is for hot water, ST2 is for hot, also for hot water exit, and ST3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these are all the temperatures values for cold water flow at different stages. So we will provide some initial temperature to hot water, that will be ST16. That's value may be 45 or maybe 50, 55, whatsoever. We will set the values accordingly. After some time, when the values will be stabilized, and after 10 to 15 minutes, we will just measure the values of from ST1 to ST7. And also we will note the flow rate of hot water fluid SC1 and cold water SC2. Then we will change the water initial water temperature of hot water flow from the tank. I will show you that this ST16 basically it is a sensor which is placed in a water tank in which we are just heating the water. So we will increase its temperature, say maybe it's 50, 60, 70, whatsoever is the need of for our experiment. And then accordingly, we will measure the all of these values of temperatures after 10 to 15 minutes of for the stabilize due to the fact that the readings may be stabilized. And in this way, we will take the 4 set of readings for this experiment. And then also we have here 2 objectives. So for second objectives, we need 2 types of value. One is for parallel flow, and then we will change the walls, and then we will convert it in for anti-parallel flow, and we will measure the values for both parallel flow. This is test 1 is for parallel flow, let's suppose, and test 2 will be for anti-parallel flow. So we will take the values of both of them so that we may further calculate the given parameters by using these observation table. So now this is somewhat basic about how which type of values we will measure here. Now we will move towards the lab, and we will see that how we will perform this experiment to measure all of these temperature values from the experiment. And then I will show you that how we will use these values to calculate different parameters. So now we will move towards the lab. Before moving towards the lab, I would like to tell you that these are all the heavy voltage heat exchangers we are using in the lab. So there is a need to take all the safety precautions relevant to electrical safety, because all the apparatuses are running or on heavy voltages, so we need to check all the switches sockets and their capacity, that can they bear the load of these heat exchangers. And further we need to wear all about the personal protection equipment, so that any accident or any risk can be avoided. So now let's move towards the lab and we will learn the further how we will perform this experiment. Okay, we are in the lab and this is the shell and tube heat exchanger. You can see its view. There are different valves attached on this heat exchanger. These are valves can be opened or closed to provide the flow. And you can see that different wires and are attached on this heat exchanger. And these wires, basically these are all some of the sensors temperature, like this is written ST3, this is temperature sensor for cold water flow. And similarly these are all the sensor which measure the flow of hot or cold water. And these are different wires. We will attach all of these wires to the main console unit as well as with the computer unit, so that we will be able to measure all the values of temperatures and flow rate from our main console or from our computer unit. So now we will attach this heat exchanger with our main console unit to measure the different parameters. Okay everyone, now we are in the lab and this is the main console basically we are using here. We have 4 different kind of heat exchangers here, and this main console, it is used with all of the heat exchangers. We connect this main console with all other units with these some flexible tubes. And you can see different valves are here, and this is the main tank in which we fill the water. And we just heat this water and we get the hot water from the tube. And sensor is here in this hot tank as well, which different sensors. One sensor is for temperature measurement and second sensor is for its level measurement, what is the level of water in this hot tank. And this is the front view. You can see that different valves are here and different sensors are also placed here. These sensors are of different types. Some measure temperature, some measures flow. So these are all valves, and this is the hot tank in which we have filled the water, and we will heat that water and we will provide the supply of water. This is the computer unit and interface. So now he is just in the phase to attach the main console unit with the heat exchanger. This is the final wire he is just connecting. After this, the water flow will flow from the main console to the heat exchanger, and then we will be able to get the readings of temperatures at different places of heat exchanger for hot water as well as for the cold water. So now he is attaching the hydraulic bench to provide this the flow of cold water. And the flow of hot water and cold water will be provided to the main console. So this is the water. One pipe is for water inlet and second pipe is for water outlet. So this cold water can flow in both the direction. We will use here two techniques. One is for parallel flow and second one is for anti-parallel flow. So now this is the main computer in which we have installed the software, and this software is basically the company is Edibon, which has provided all of these softwares. So different heat exchanger options are there. We will click the relevant, and now you can see that we will start this, and on the upper right corner of computer we will get the values of temperatures. So these are all temperatures which can be plotted on the graph as well. So now he just has started to heat the water from the hot tank. In the tank there is a water. We have provided it heat, and we can increase the value of heat provided to this.
Okay.
So now he is just adjusting the walls to make the flow parallel. First of all, he will open all the walls on the heat exchanger so that the flow of water from hot and cold side will be towards the heat exchanger, and now he will adjust the walls on main console unit to make it a parallel flow. So all the analogy that is written in manual, that to which wall we have to close or we have to open. So now he has converted this into a parallel flow, and we will measure the values of temperature from this computer unit, which is attached directly to the main console and as well as the heat exchanger. So in this way we will get the values of temperatures. Now we can change the heater value of hot water temperature. We can change the value of hot water temperature. For example, if first reading we have taken at 40 degree, we can take different readings on 50, 60 or 70 degree. Now he is converting it to anti-parallel flow. This is a counter parallel flow. He is just adjusting the walls. He is opening some walls and closing some walls, and now it is converted to anti-parallel flow. So now we again will start it from the software, and now we again will take the readings of temperatures for this anti-parallel flow. So temperatures can be plotted, and we will take the reading at different temperatures of hot water. For example, if we will take the first reading at 40 degree, then we may increase the temperature of hot water to 50 degrees, 60 degree from this computer or software, and we will get the different values of temperatures against different values of hot water temperature. So this is all about how we will take the readings from this heat exchangers, and now I will explain you that how we will use these readings of parallel flow and anti-parallel flow temperature. These are all the temperature of different sensors on different places, and some of these sensors are on the hot water side and some of these are on the cold water sides. So we will measure the values of temperatures of hot water and cold water at different stages, and then we will use all of these values to calculate our required parameters. So now I will move towards the lab manual and I will explain you how to calculate these values. Okay, we have got all the readings from the experiment, and these readings are all from this ST1 to ST7, and the readings of these volume flow rate of hot and cold water. So now we will use these four sets of reading in the for our calculation. So this is our calculation table. We will measure all of these parameters one by one. First of all is the QH. This is basically heat transfer by hot water, and we will measure it by multiplying with the mass flow rate with this specific heat, and THI is basically the temperature of hot water inlet, that is ST1. we have computed or we have measured it from the experiment, and this is TH node. This is basically the hot water outlet. This is the XT2. So in this way, we have all of these values. Mass flow rate we already have calculated. We have the value of this specific heat of hot water, and we have all other values. We will get this value of QH. And definitely we will get here 4 values because we have 4 set of readings. So then second, we will calculate the value of QC. This is basically the heat received by cold water. So this is equal to MHCPH THI minus TH naught. Similarly, we have got the, I am talking about this QC. This is MC CPC TC naught minus TCI. So basically, we already have got the value of this mass flow rate of cold water from the start. In the start of experiment, I already have explained you the procedure how to calculate this. Then we have got the value of the specific heat of cold water as well, and this TCO is basically the cold water outlet temperature minus TCI is cold water inlet temperature. So we have all of these values. We will use these values to calculate this QC. This QL basically this is hot heat loss from hot water to cold water. If we are transferring the heat losses is QL. It should ideally be 0. Mean that this QH should ideally be equal to QC, but practically it will not be there, and there will be some heat losses, and we have to compute all of these heat losses here. So now next is the delta TLM. This is LMTD, logarithmic mean temperature difference, and for parallel flow. Okay, its formula is given here. This is T or delta TLM. This is equal to delta T1 minus delta T2 over log of delta T1 and delta T2. Now from where we will get this delta T1 or delta T2? This is for delta T1, and this is THI minus TCI. THI is hot water inlet and TCI is cold water inlet. And this is delta T2 TH naught. This is hot water outlet minus TCO. This is cold water outlet. So basically these values will be used if the flow is parallel, and if you are using here anti-parallel flow, then you will use delta T1 is equal to THI minus TCO. THI is hot water inlet, TCO is cold water outlet, and this delta T will be equal to delta TH naught, that is hot water outlet, minus TCI, that is cold water inlet. So whatsoever is the type of flow, if it is parallel, then you will use these formulas, and if it is counter parallel, then you will use these formulas, and then you will use the values of delta T1 and delta T2 to compute the value of this TLM. This is basically this delta TLM. These are same. So finally, the formula for global heat transfer coefficient U we want to compute. So the heat transfer is equal to UA delta TLM. U is global heat transfer coefficient, which we will want to calculate here. This is equal to Q. This Q we will use here QH or QC, because ideally both should be same, but actually though both will not be same. So generally we use here QH. We have computed here QH. And with this delta TLM, we have calculated this delta TLM. This TLM is basically delta TLM. So we will get the value of this U dot A. The area heat transfer area that is given here, that is 0.00192 meter square. So we will use a value and we will get this value of U, and this is global heat transfer coefficient. Now, because we have 4 set of reading, we will get the 4 different values of U. Ideally 4 values should be same, but practically again these values will not be same. So we will perform some statistical analysis for this U value, and that I will explain you later on in this experiment. So first of all, now I am moving towards the objective number 2. Objective number 2 was to calculate the heat exchanger effectiveness by NTU method. So now we have the set of readings, one for parallel flow, and second one is for counter parallel flow, and these are all the readings we have measured from the experiment. So for this effectiveness value, we use these formulas. You will multiply the mass flow rate with this specific heat. If the mass flow rate and specific heat value, the product of both of these values for hot water, it is less than for cold water, then you will use this formula listed here. And if the product of mass flow rate with and specific heat for hot water, it is greater than for cold water, then you will use this formula. So whatsoever is the case, you will use these formulas. This formula is simple. This is Thi minus Th naught. Thi is hot water inlet, Th naught is a hot water outlet, and then divided by Thi minus Tco. Thi is hot water inlet and Tco is cold water outlet. And if you will use this formula, then this is Tco, that is cold water outlet, minus Tci, that is cold water inlet, divided by Thi minus Tci. Thi is basically hot water inlet and Tci is basically cold water inlet. So after these formula, you again will compute the value of logarithmic mean temperature difference LMTD. The same procedure that I already have mentioned in objective one, that will be used. If it is parallel flow, then you will use the delta T1, these formula Thi minus Tci, and delta T naught is Th naught minus Tco. And if it is counter flow, then you will use for delta T1 Thi minus Tco, and you will use for delta T2 Th naught minus Tci. So whatsoever will be the case, we will use the value. This is delta TLM is delta T1 minus delta T2. We already have calculated this delta T1 and delta T2 divided by log of delta T1 over delta 2. So we will get this value. Finally, for global heat transfer coefficient, we already have calculated this also in our objective one. So this is the formula. Q is equal to UA delta TLM, and U dot A is Q. Q is basically here QH. We have computed here, and this delta TLM we have calculated this here. This delta TLM is basically TLM. They are same. So area is given. We will calculate the value of U, and finally now we have to calculate the number of transmission units, NTU. This is basically U dot A. We have calculated this U dot A over MCP minimum. So we have two type of fluid here. One is hot and second is cold. So we will multiply the mass flow rate of hot with the specific heat value, and also for cold water. So the values from both of the type of fluids, the value which is minimum we will use here. So we will calculate this NTU. Then there is again the ratio of this is also called as capacity coefficient. This is ratio of MCP minimum over MCP maximum. So from hot or cold water, the value of which is minimum, that we will use here as a numerator, and the value which is maximum we will use here as a denominator. So we will get this ratio, and finally we will calculate this effectiveness by using the NTU method. So now for parallel flow, this formula is 1 minus E or minus NTU into 1 plus CR. This NTU is number of transmission units we have calculated above, and CR is basically capacity coefficient. We have calculated it, and this is also 1 plus CR. So we have all the values. We will calculate this effectiveness by NTU method. And for anti-parallel flow, the formula is 1 minus power minus NTU into 1 minus CR over 1 minus CR into E power minus NTU into 1 minus CR. So we have the value of CR, we have the value of NTU, we have the value of this CR. We will compute here this effectiveness by using the NTU method. So this is all about the two objectives. Finally, we have another work to undertake the statistical analysis. I already have mentioned you in objective one that we have calculated the value of this U basically, and we have used 4 set of readings. So we will get these 4 values. We will take the average of these 4 values to calculate the average value. Basically, this statistical analysis, this X is representing basically U. So actually we will use not use here x1 plus x2 plus x3. We will use here u1 plus u2 plus u3 plus u4, because we have 4 values, and we will divide it by n. N is 4 because number of observations are 4. So we will take the average, and then this is standard deviation. Standard deviation is basically we will just take the value, and it will represent that how the values are deviating from the standard value. So this is the first observation, that will be u1, and we will take the difference of average value from u1 and their square, then plus average value from u2, then their square, plus average value from u3, then square, and plus we also will for the fourth value. that will be U4 minus U average and their square. Then we will divide it by n minus 1, n is 4 here, and we will take their square root, and that will give us the value of the standard deviation. So this is all about the shell and tube heat exchanger. So hopefully you have you have developed understanding about this heat exchanger, and the basic purpose was for this experiment, so that we will be able to calculate some main parameters like LMTD, logarithmic mean temperature difference, global heat transfer coefficient, and effectiveness of shell and tube heat exchanger. So thank you very much for attending this session.